Hey guys, how's it going? Jam here, and welcome to highlights from round 5 of the V8 Junior Series, coming to you this week from Kota. And you'll also notice that this is all a little bit different. My recording software was playing up a little bit. It was thinking that I was trying to record a copyrighted bit of material, so I couldn't actually get my live footage recorded, so I'm doing it from this replay instead. Hopefully you shouldn't notice too much of a difference apart from the bits of HUD that I like showing, because they can be rather helpful. As you can see, starting in P2 and having a little bit of a messy start as we go up into turn 1. I got into the back of the leader, and then someone got into the back of me, and I got sideways, and then someone nudged me around going straight, and I ended up dropping from P2 to P5. Yami up ahead jumped from P3 to P1, and I mean, there's a whole gaggle of cars. I don't think anyone came out where they started. But yes, after the first corner I have dropped 3 positions, which is certainly unfortunate, as I qualified P2. I shouldn't really be down in P5 at this point. I don't like having bad starts, but it's just one of the things. And I suppose it will give me the chance to try and fight my way through. I had a quick look at going up the inside of Blazer there ahead of me, but it didn't really work. Hordes tried to go up the inside of me at the left-hander, and that's really not going to work. But yeah, I'm just sort of sat here half a lap in, trying to put the pressure on Blazer. But unfortunately, I don't really get a chance to overtake him before he gets a chance to overtake L-Gamer. I tried to get involved, and I just nudged L-Gamer wide. I didn't really mean to split the middle of them. I was hoping to line in behind, and as you can see, L-Gamer over on the right there ended up forcing off track. So hopefully you can hear my engine note there. I did lift off a little bit just to make sure that Levy could get back past. And I think I played it about alright. I didn't want to lift off too much, because obviously I knew that Hordes was right there as well, and I had to brake really late going into the hairpin at the bottom of the back straight to try and cover off Hordes. And with a helpful bump from him on the exit, that actually turned into an overtaking move on L-Gamer, which I really wasn't expecting. But anyway, that is me up into P4, and I'm not going to be waiting around any longer. This corner is really hard to defend, because you can go on the inside and the outside and carry a huge amount of speed. And I really make quite a good opportunistic move on Blazer, if I do say so myself. But he is still on my inside going around the horseshoe. I really squeeze him on the inside, making him take almost a Verstappen line there. And on the exit, I think he just gets to the power a bit too early, runs out wide, and gives me a nudge, and that just completely screws my line up for the next corner. I'm miles off the track, but I keep it pinned. I can see that there's about a car's width on the outside of him, so I rejoin side by side with him. I think Hordes is going up the inside of him there into the final corner. Once again, I'm forced off wide out off the track, but I do keep my foot in and end up going around the outside of Blazer there. But Hordes has got the pair of us. As we start lap 2, I am still down in 4th position. I think Levy's trying to get involved on the left, Blazer's headlights are on the right, and Hordes just completely messes up into turn 1. I get past, Blazer's coming, have a look at me. I think L-Gamer's there as well at some point, and I mean, Hordes may well have dropped 3 positions there, but the most important thing for me right now is that I've gained 1. I'm up into 3rd place, and I can chase after the leaders. So on to lap 4, heading down the back straight, and I have closed up to Yadefti, and I suppose Yami as well, quite a bit. I think Yami and Yadefti were fighting a bit at certainly the first lap or two, so I think Yadefti has dropped off of the leader just a little bit, and that makes it better for me, because it means I'm not joining in a 3-car fight. It means I can hopefully pick off Yadefti and then set off after Yami. Yadefti taking the slightly more defensive line through that corner that's hard to defend against, and not getting the best exit, getting up all over the curb. And then as we go around this horseshoe corner, I did notice that people were taking a largely different line to me. I was tended to be slightly wider on the way in, and then, as you can see, really narrow on the exit, whereas Yadefti, with a bit of a slide on, was really going wide on the exit of the corner. And he doesn't have the best exit around the best run around the penultimate corner either, again getting up the curb on the inside and the outside. And it would be the same thing around the final corner, just getting up over the curbing as we head down onto the main pit straight. But I mean, that Ford, we know, is very quick in a straight line, so there's no point trying to go for an immediate overlap. Just sit in the slipstream and then go for it down into turn 1. It's a very wide bit of track. I get it to the apex. I jump over that orangey bit of curb, which doesn't help. Yadefti gets the cutback on me. He's on my left-hand side, but I get the inside to the right-hand corner for turn 2. And that is me up into P2. And now, as we head through the S's on lap 5, I've got about 2 laps to try and chase down Yami for the race lead. We jump to the second half of the final lap now, and I have managed to close the gap a bit, although a bit isn't really enough. You can see just how far ahead of me he is going down the pitch straight. Obviously we will concertina up as we start to go around the final section, which is quite a slow section of track, but I mean, I still don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to have to pull out something phenomenal to try and get past him at this point, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I go into this corner having half a chance. Maybe if I take the attacking line I can just put him off a little bit, but I mean, this is Yami we're talking about. He's not going to be put off with someone doing something like that. I think it was quite a good line though. I think I might be a little bit closer as we go around the third to last corner here at the Horseshoe. And once again, I was taking that really tight line on the exit with Yami getting a little bit of a slide on. I think that has helped me close up a little bit. And as we go around the final corner, it's a similar story. I just seem to be a little bit neater. But with only one chance left, I go for a big move. I just about tag Yami's rear end, but I mean, it was a bit of a hopeful move. If anything, I wanted him to see me coming and sort of dart out the way and sort of scare him out the way, because the move was never really on. But on the last corner of the last lap, you got to try something. I know Yami's wise enough to not do anything stupid, but I know that I am as hopefully not stupid enough to do anything stupid either. So that would be P2 across the line for race 1. So on to race 2, I would be starting behind Yami, and it is back to the daytime for this second longer race. And you can see there, you're definitely trying to get a good start as well. Really close to my bumper at the opening part. And there he is again. I just, with Hordes on his inside as well, I get a little bit of a tag. I ended up drifting out wide off track. And I think Yedefti's lost a couple of places. I've lost one to Horde, certainly. And yeah, once again, another kind of, well, an unfortunate turn 1 for me again, losing position. Only 1 this time as compared to 3 on race 1. But I did drop back to P3, and you can see the gap to Yami. Really not the best start from me. So we cut later onto lap 1, and Hordes is going to go in a little bit deep into the hairpin that leads onto the back straight. Tag Yami, really put him wide off the track, and he does a sensible thing and waits for Yami, make sure he doesn't unfairly gain. But I mean, that's fine by me, because it means I can gain. There's nothing I did wrong there, so I tried to pounce on Hordes while he was sort of letting off Yami, but it now gets a little bit tricky as we go down the back straight. Horde sitting in the slipstream has got a great run. I get to the inside of him, but he gets to the outside of me. And Yami moves over to the inside to cover me, and I just about get the apex and manage to sweep across and cover Hordes. And me and Yami both go very defensive into the next right-hand corner. Your Horde's looking to go around the outside there. Blazer's getting involved as well, showing his nose. And then I go very defensive and almost on the attack as I go in a bit hot and almost get a bit of a drift on up the inside of Yami into that really difficult corner. A couple of encouragement bumps from Hordes on the exit, and we somehow managed to get through there in one piece. So by the end of that one, I am back up to where I started, and Yami's got a little bit of a drift on there. As I keep saying, I'm holding it very tight through that corner, not quite being able to make a move there though, although I do carry a lot of speed around this penultimate corner, not necessarily on the exit though, and I think Yami's going to hold on to position. I tried to go for a bit of a cutback line there out of the final corner. I don't think it really worked. I certainly didn't close up on Yami any, but I think I did manage to hinder Hordes a little bit, so he didn't get a run on me as we started lap 2. But we cut now onto lap 4, because not a huge amount has happened. That's typically why I cut bits out, and I brake very late into the hairpin and sort of have to dart to the side of Yami to make sure I don't run into the back of him. And I mean, the gap has stayed pretty much similar between the two of us throughout, and there's certainly people fighting behind as well. As you can see, Yedefti showing his nose in there, and there he would be again, going for that move up that horrible corner. I did try and stay to the middle of the track to try and dissuade him from making a move, but he went for it anyway. Fortunately, on the wider line, I did get that good exit, and I would be ahead as we go into the very long corner. Once again, keeping it tight on the exit, not allowing Yedefti to stick his nose up the inside. Around the penultimate corner now, and you know, pretty standard. I've managed to clear Yedefti, so yeah, not much fighting going on. One lap later, around the penultimate corner again, and Yami's not had the best of runs. A little bit of a slide up all over the curb, and potentially feeling the pressure as he goes into the final corner. He has a bit of a lock-up and runs quite wide. We both get on the throttle very exuberantly, and kicking up a little bit of tyre smoke on our inside rear tyre. But I do get the overlap as we go down towards turn 1 on lap 6. And from this position, it's just a case of braking ever so slightly later, making sure my car stays on the inside, and then trying to get a good exit. I just about managed to clear Yami. He tries to have a go up the inside towards the right-hander, but he never really had the overlap. I think he might have got a clip from someone behind, because he did sort of start to slide away. Unfortunately, with these replays, not necessarily the best angles to see things from. On to lap 7 now. This would be the final lap of the pit window, meaning that everyone else should have taken their pit stop already. If not, they would have joined me on this lap. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone can get the undercut. Although I was mainly fighting with Yami a lot, we also saw Blazer, Yadefti, Hordes, L-Gamer all fighting in and around at the front, so any one of them could potentially have overlapped me at this point. No one did initially, but I completely bugger up turn 1. And fortunately, no one was close enough to capitalise on that either. So we cut now on to lap 9, and as we go past one of the lagged out cars, it's rather unfortunate to see, we head around this very tricky right-hander that's definitely not easy to get right. I think I've called all of these tricky. And as we approach the corner that's impossible to defend, the replay cuts off. So we jump to lap 11, where thanks to the Xbox DVR, I was able to record the last 5 minutes of my live footage. So, around lap 11, having a look back to see where people are, we can now see who's in the next few positions. We've got Yami, Hordes and Blazer at this point, as we start lap 12. Unfortunately, nothing really happened, so we jump to lap 13. Unfortunately, nothing really happened on lap 13, so we jump towards the end of the race, and you can see it would be me winning the race on well, without much going on after the pit stops. But yes, that would be it for that race. I think that was Hordes in second, Yami third, and Blazer fourth. So onto the standings, you can see that with a second and a first place, I would top score in this round. I think I haven't actually got it on screen, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you should be seeing Yami in second for this round as well, with a first and a third. So onto the overall standings, and well, with a top scorer, once again for me, I will extend my championship lead, which I'm very, very happy about with only 2 races to go. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we head to Suzuka for round 6.